welcome to Free Talk with Mr. B, and welcome on the program.
Yay, thank you.
So I have known you for a long, long time, but have not seen you for a long, long time as well. Was that back in the late 80s or mid 80s?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I was born in 81.
And I was wondering if I was trying to recall, because I tend to forget things. Did I ever see you? Because I saw your parents in Florida, but I can't remember if I saw you or your siblings.
Probably my other sisters and brother, because my sister lives in Fort Lauderdale, and my brother lives in Ocala, close to my mom now. So.
Okay, so I saw your mom in Ocala for sure. So I wasn't sure if I saw you. Mm-hmm. Tell us more about you. Even I won't remember now.
Wow. Okay. Tell me. This is like an interview question too. So I'm like, oh, what? Okay. So I was born and raised in the U.S. Virgin Islands. So I lived my whole entire life till up to about 22 years old, and then I migrated to Florida. So I consider Florida my second home. That's where mom, dad, brother, sister is, and a whole bunch of, I should say, family and friends, or the Cruisians are.
Right.
People from St. Croix. So it's been a good experience. I kind of actually branched out because I think I did my bachelor's in Orlando, Florida. And then I was doing my master's while I was living by my sister in Fort Lauderdale. And after my master's, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so sick of Florida, sick of the South. I need to go explore. So somehow I ended up in California.
Wow, okay.
On the West Coast. Yeah.
And I went from St. Croix after high school straight to California. So.
Wow, that's a big change.
Yeah, I think it was quite drastic. But I was able to spend 30 years in California. I'm in Texas right now, so I ended up back here in this side of the country, but definitely 30 years in California.
Yeah. So California to me was like the best state ever that I lived in. The weather, the people, the food, everything of it reminded me of like being back home in a bigger way.
Right.
When you live on an 84th island and then you go to California, like, oh my gosh, the beach is beautiful. You know, people are nice, or I see all different types of people, all different cultures. It's a very different experience. And I ended up living there. And from living there, I got married to my husband, and I basically traveled with him for the last 10 years. So between California, moved to Milwaukee, then back to California, and then I lived in Vegas, and then now Utah. So it's been an experience. I could say traveling with him, and then living all places, and then I had my two boys. They were babies, small at that time. All I'm moving was like, oh my gosh, I need somewhere to come home. I still feel like I've made Utah kind of home because I've been here the last 7 years. So,
okay,
learning experience.
Because I was going to ask you that of all the places, Utah, and if you were looking for people from the islands and Caribbean people, you may not think of colder states or certain states, but it's quite interesting that you landed there. And many things brings us places, like we were not, I didn't pick a place. Sometimes the place picked me, and I followed my industry because I was in the energy industry. And since the international aspect of the energy industry caused me to be here.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So different things move us, doesn't it?
Definitely. For me, my husband considered the state very stable because it was just a great place to be for jobs. There's a lot of refinery jobs here, and he works in the oil industry. He's a pipe fitter. So being here, it was like, oh my goodness, you know, this is a good state. We can raise kids here. It's not too much. And I was like, oh, okay, we're just gonna stay here then. So been here the last 7 years. I definitely have to say that Utah has been good to me on my career wise. So when I started in California and upon moving, I stayed in IT like most of the time. My first job was at the VA hospital in Long Beach. And from there, I got to work at Cedar Sinai. And then I had my son and I took a break and then came back, worked at Cedars, moved to Vegas, worked on the hospital there. So I've been in healthcare the last, oh my gosh, 14 years, just about. So it was a good experience. I got all I worked in IT, healthcare IT, I call it. So I've always been in there. And I had 1 year in a county in healthcare IT, and then 1 year at just a mobile software company. And those 2 years that I was there, I was like, this does not feel, well, this feels weird. I need to go back to hospital healthcare. So I'm back now with work at IHC, which is Intermountain Healthcare, and I'm a senior technical analyst. So.
Okay, very good.
I love it.
Well, I'm glad we were talking about it, because just looking at, because I follow you on your channels, and I could not have tell.
Right.
So I'm glad that, you know, from an entrepreneur perspective, it's really good that someone has a stable base, plus they're still being entrepreneurial. And I always do like that. Yeah. And my program is a program of giving back, and the conversation around free talk is to get people's experiences that can help someone else somewhere in the world, because everyone might think, okay, what do I do? And do you think the moving for career or moving for a job is difficult, or is it worth it if you look at it from any perspective?
I would say it is definitely worth it for me, because I never thought that I would have got hired at different places just because you're like, oh, you only stay like 2 years at a place, or you only stay so long a time. So I was wondering about that. But right before I had my 2 kids, I made sure that I was going to my doctorate, and I was like, I'm tired of school. I need to just work. I need to make money. So I started working. And from my education, I just like absorbed everything. When I go to a job, I would be like, you know what, can you give me on-call appointments? Can you give me stuff to do? Go take a certification. Can I do this? Can I do that? Just for me to increase my experience level.
Right.
And I also started, when I started at university, I was a help desk man. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I could do this forever. I did a change from a job for like 25 cents to drive 20 miles. I was like, I'm going to do this for a year, but then I'm going to be looking other places in IT for a job.
Right.
So I started doing that, and I was able to work in IT for HR at the University of Utah. So I was happy about that. And that experience was actually a huge change, because huge increase in staff. I got experience. I got to work with some amazing people. Some of these amazing people support me in my entrepreneur right now. It's like on the way, I gain customers, family, and friends doing this business.
Right. And so that's what I encourage people to give back, because sometimes people say they do not have anything to give back. And I says, well, okay, great. A billionaire might give $1 billion and it's a fixed value. A millionaire might give $1 million and it's a value. But the experiences people give back are priceless.
That's true. That is so true. And I could tell you, I learned this business 3 years ago. And when I joined 3 years ago, my husband is a traveler. So even though I would be, since I've been in Utah, he still has been traveling like to different places to work. But at the same time, pandemic hit last year. And for that year that the pandemic hit, he was home. So I actually had a chance to, oh my gosh, I have someone here. I could play kids with him and do my business with no interruptions, no interactions. So I started doing that in March. And to tell you the truth, I went probably from like $100 to probably 20,000 in sales. So that was like a big deal. That was like an eye opener. I was like, oh my gosh, I needed this.
Right.
So this was a really great experience doing that.
Yes, and I wish, in fact, what would your new or potential customers, where would they look when they're looking for you and your business, and what do you want them to find? Tell us about that, because you should at least have your commercial moment.
Oh yeah. So for me and my customers, my business is called Pretty Kim's Bling. My name is Kimberley, of course. So I feel like the bling is supposed to enhance you. It's supposed to make you beautiful. Probably a basic, like today, basic t-shirt that I have on. I was like, oh, should I dress up? Should I dress down? Should I represent? This week was Spirit Week, and there was an all pink day. I didn't get to wear all pink, so I felt like wearing pink today. And I think that's important when you could dress up and feel good, even though I work from home. And trust and believe, I don't dress up every day because I don't have to put my camera on. So it gets me out of that groove, like, oh my God, you have to dress up. People have to see you, that you're serious about yourself, and make yourself look pretty. Like, I mean, what's the sense of having jewelry and you can't make yourself look pretty? Come on.
Right. And,
Yeah.
and where can they find you the most? Do they look on your Facebook page only, or more than one places? Or
oh my gosh, I'm all over the place. I'm on Pretty Kim's Bling on Pinterest, Pretty Kim's Bling on Instagram, Pretty Kim's Bling on Facebook. I also have a Facebook group called Pretty Kim's Bling VIP. So I am all over the place. I pretty much, when people see me and they see the jewelry and they, look at my story, or oh, that looks really nice. Yeah, come on, come join me, or here's my site where you could shop. And I could tell you this much: this year, over so many procrastination of should I do it, should I not, I actually built my own website from the ground up.
Wow.
With no experience. Yeah, no experience, just being in IT and reading and following instructions. I built my own Shopify store. I was kind of happy and like so grateful for that. So May was the first month I launched, and I've been doing pretty good.
Very nice. I'm very, very proud of that and proud of you. And this is what we want people to know, is that you have your career, you have your job, and you can also have something else
Right.
too that can bring you satisfaction. In fact, I see it as a form of giving back. Do you?
Right.
I mean, I want to know if you see it that way too, because I see it as a form of giving back to the global community, and I can tell you why.
I feel it does. I does. A lot of people are like, so why are you selling the jewelry on Facebook? Why are you going live? Don't you work in IT? Don't you make great money? And I was like, okay, so if my job says bye, give me that pink slip today, what am I going to fall back on? And I always think it's always great for people to either have a side hustle or some extra income just in case. I like that word, just in case. So
yeah. And I found it interesting too that when we bring awareness to someone or encourage someone, we're giving back to the global community. So I feel when I look at your on your program, whenever you come online, I see your smile, I see your attitude, and I see you're defining how people can be if they choose. And so motivating others are also forms of giving back. And so with your experience in the IT world and your program for your entrepreneurial business, I thought it was really nice to have you on as a person who gives back to the global community.
Yes, definitely. So And what I like about that, and I was so like impressed today, one of my like personally, or my downline, I should say, the person who signed her, like left the business, everything, so left her on her own. And it's so funny because when I came to her, my upline was like, you know, you need to take her to your wing. And I took her under my wing. I told her what she needed to do to go live. She had, you know, a couple of fears, couple, you know, doubts. And I'm like, no, you can totally do this. And from, I guess, 2 years ago to where she is now, she always tells me, oh my gosh, I thank you so much for doing this, because she went from like not going live, not doing anything virtual or online, no Facebook Lives, no nothing, to having a store, and also going live 5 days a week. And she told me, oh my gosh, I saw your website and I was so impressed. You make it so easy for people to shop. And I was like, oh my gosh, that means a lot, because I'm over here critiquing my own self. I'm like, oh my gosh, my website's not enough. I need more. And just to hear that, it's like, oh my gosh, like I actually helped her do something. So that was one of my, I should say, one of my giving back, kind of, you know, I'm glad I did it, and I'm glad it's working. Also, I do have two customers who have daughters who watch me. So every time I'm live, they're like, Kim's on, you know, what is she showing? Is she showing anything for us? Is she showing jewelry for little girls, or is she showing something I can wear? So I always try to remember when I see those two ladies, I mentioned their daughter's name. So I say, hey, Anna, hey, Anaya, and I would be like, how are you guys doing tonight? I know it's summer. What are you doing? Are you watching Disney? Or, you know, ask questions. And I think that's so important, because I really like to get to know my customers. I don't want someone to come on my live and I'm like, I don't know where you're from, you know, who are you? I like to make them feel welcome. And the whole reason for having a Facebook Live is to have a party where people come and watch you and enjoy and have conversation and play games. So it's like you're actually in my house, but not in my house.
Right. And I guess by the terms I knew from the past, you use upline and downline. That means you give back by also helping other entrepreneurs set up their business as they work with you to do something similar. So that's nice.
Yeah. I had a team of 58. Some of them left and decided to, you know, go elsewhere. But I am back to 30. I think between 22 and 30. I haven't been counting, but it's been slowly growing. So I am looking forward to grow a bigger team and pretty much have runners, have people who want to do their business, who enjoy it. And our new year starts July 1st. So I have my little planner to get myself started this weekend. I'm like, what are my goals? What do I want to accomplish? What do I want to be next year? Because in August, we get to go to a convention where there's going to be training. There's going to be pictures of new stuff that comes out for the fall. So I'm like totally hyped and ready to go and take my notes and pretty much go live and show my team, listen, you got to come next year. Or my customers, look what I'm enjoying, you know?
Yeah, so you're giving back to yourself, you're giving back to your household, you're giving back to the world. And that's the kind of people we look for. You're a normal, everyday person. I knew you since you were a very small girl. And look at you now.
Yep. All grown.
Completely grown and doing wonderful things and giving back globally. And I really appreciate that. Like you said, even me, I looked at your jewelry and I thought to myself, I said, wait a minute, you know, let me wear some too. And so
I'm kind of excited. We might get a men's line, and I am excited about that. The customer, like, what do you have? For guys every day. So I'm hoping for convention release, they say, oh, we now have a regular men's line. It'll be another attraction for my gentlemen customers or male customers who want the jewelry. So forward to that.
Good, good, good. So I definitely know there's a lot more to talk about. There are times that you will have a subject that is a passionate to you and emotional to you. And so I hope you'll be able to come on in the future and for us to talk about different things too.
Oh yeah, I do have a lot of passions besides IT and selling jewelry. I love to cook. love to cook. Oh my gosh, it's I sometimes say to myself, why am I in IT? I should be a chef somewhere. I should be a chef in Dubai or in Greece or somewhere cooking someone's food because I love making dishes. Also too, I have gone from where I have not eaten any kind of meat for like 6 months to a year. So I've been vegan for a couple times.
Oh, wow.
And it's like a life-changing experience. I've learned to transform what I eat on a normal basis to incorporate it in meatless or plant-based dishes. So that's another passion of mine. Love to cook.
Nice, very nice. It's such a great speaker also, so I appreciate that. Now, in this scenario, your university down in Florida, they called you and asked you to come and speak to them, speak to the alumni class. So
Wow.
So in this scenario, you were speaking to them and you wanted to leave something as a form of giving back to them before you close your statement. What would you want to tell them based on your life experience? What would you like to tell them?
I would say soak up all the knowledge and experience you can while you're young, and education. I feel, and my mom used to tell me this all the time. She's like, when you get married, you're not going to be able, or when you have a family, you're not going to have time to do your education. Some people do it like remarkably, but I'm like, oh my gosh, I am so busy at 40 right now, and with my business, with my job. I was like, I don't even think I could do a degree right now. It's crazy because time is so limited. So I say to young people, don't waste that time just partying and having a great time. Use that time wisely while your brain is young to get your education, get your degrees, get your experience. That's what I'm doing with my sons. I'm making sure that they know how to take care of themselves. So by 18, I'm not kicking you out, but I'm saying you need to go find something. You're not going to be sitting down on the couch or eating my food every day.
Right.
Even though it's that good, you're going to go out and, work for yourself or find something that you like to do that you're passionate about.
Yes, and wonderfully said. Because sometimes we think we have time, and we do, but
yes.
When we get the education, this is something that will never leave us. If we got a job even first, we could lose it. If we came into some money first, that can go away. But whatever goes into our head goes nowhere. Whatever goes into our heart goes nowhere. So it's best to take in all of these things early. So very nice. I appreciate that so much, and I really appreciate you being on. So any last words for us before we depart?
I would definitely say if you have that entrepreneur spirit, take a chance. Go learn something. Go do something that you're passionate about. I would never thought I would be passionate about selling jewelry. And that's something like my upline saw me taking selfies before I joined the business, and she was like, you know what, you should probably sell jewelry because you take great selfies, you take great pictures. And I was like, really? I was like, okay. So I tried it and I liked it. And I've been in a lot of multi-level marketing companies, and I'm like, how am I going to sell this product? How am I going to tell people it works? This is too much. Like, you know what? I'm a little fashionista when I'm ready. So I like to dress up. I'm like my mom. My mom has different colors of every jewelry, shoes, dresses. I love color. I love that. But I don't need a flashy print or flashy or dresses. I just need something that I put it on, it looks good, and I can put accessories to match it. Period. So coming into this business and then realizing, oh my gosh, I'm actually making money. The product sells itself. I don't have to do that much. So that made me very aware of, you know, upping my game or leveling up, as they say. It's just like, I guess I tell people the sky's the limit.
Very nice. And that's well said. The sky is the limit, and we must just take advantage of it every time. I really thank you for being on, and thank you for giving Free Talk with Mr. B your time and sharing your experience and
Yes.
experiences with the world. So please greet your family for us. And thank you again for coming, and have a wonderful evening.
Thank you. I appreciate it. This was fun.
Okay, I appreciate it so much. Thank you very much. Take care.
All righty.
Bye.